for my friends.
Every 15 minutes, somebody in the U.S. dies in an alcohol-related traffic collision. Each year, as the nation's fatalities are added up, all of us are saddened to learn how many of our young people, 15 to 20 years old, died in preventable motor vehicle collisions. Teen drivers are responsible for a highly disproportionate number of collision injuries and deaths. 3/4 of the people who died in crashes where a young driver was drinking were young people themselves. Our kids are dying, and they're dying because of the irresponsible use of alcohol. Telling our kids to just say no isn't enough. The statistics reinforce the need for preventative measures by every facet of the community. Every 15 Minutes is a 2-day program developed to challenge high school students to think about drinking, driving, personal safety, and the responsibility of making mature decisions about alcohol when lives are at stake. After months of preparation and anticipation at St. Monica High School in Santa Monica, California, the big day had arrived. You will feel the presence of the Grim Reaper as he gathers the participating students to be the living dead. Hear the participants talk about and see the student body watch a simulated crash scene with response teams from law enforcement and other emergency agencies. Be at the hospital as the trauma teams care for the victims and their families. Listen to an actual police booking of the impaired teen driver. Visit the hotel retreat and hear agonizingly real first-hand stories, plus see other activities including trust-building games and letter writing. Reflect as the assembly on day 2 presents a highly emotional program packed with startling images and strong words. For our youth, it's a lot to think about, the important choices, the partnerships, the friendships, the families, the community. But we need to work together to reduce the number of deaths caused by alcohol-related collisions because they happen way too often. They happen every 15 minutes.
So I have set it equal to y, and then I have log
It's first period math. You're a 17-year-old high school student.
Now exponentially, what's up?
What is about to happen will affect you for the rest of your life.
Perfect. Okay. So when it doesn't work, can you?
Bridget Vargas.
You know her. She's really nice, a good student, popular on campus. Why is the Grim Reaper taking her away? What did she do? Suddenly it became painfully clear that she was dead. What happened to her?
On April 10, 2000, at 10 a.m., Bridget Nicole Vargas died in an alcohol-related traffic collision. Bridget was just 17 years old. She was born to John and Irma Rodriguez Vargas on December 10, 1982. Bridget is survived by her brother.
Students react with great sadness as though they had really lost a family member. Scenes like these were played out every 15 minutes in many different classrooms throughout the school day. The 30 participants, composed of juniors and seniors, were carefully selected to represent a cross-section of the student body. A diverse group of emotionally strong, articulate students respected by their peers for their great leadership qualities. Along with the active involvement of their parents, these students knew that their emotional strength would be tested all day.
Y'all ready?
With the aid of Hollywood makeup artists, the students selected by the Grim Reaper became the living dead. Staying in character, they would continue through their day as silent and stoic reminders to their classmates of the need to address a problem that many of them choose to ignore. Reenactment participants received extreme makeup depicting the severity of their injuries, including extensive facial injuries, broken bones with compound fractures, and traumatic head injuries. The idea was to show students in gruesome detail what they or their friends could look like as a result of the incident you're about to see. The school day is interrupted with a 911 call over the intercom. The plan, as developed by the Santa Monica Police Department, is to show the students with stark realism what could happen when you break the law and drink and drive. The street in front of the school is closed off as the scene has been set with a two-vehicle crash. One vehicle with 5 teenagers, 2 of them ejected and lying on the street, gravely injured. 2 critically injured female teens trapped in the back seat. The male driver sitting in the car stunned. Beer cans litter the street in close proximity to show the undeniable evidence of mixing alcohol and driving. The Grim Reaper walks around the scene with his living dead and takes a position across the street in view of the student body. This is now an event that seems very real, one the police know all too well.
People who drive have to be aware of what they can do, the damage they can cause to themselves, to their friends, to family, if they choose to drive while impaired.
Police officers, after having assessed the scene, determined that the 2 males ejected were deceased. That was quite a dramatic moment for the student body as well as the participants.
It's kind of scary to think about what would really happen.
Pretty scary. It's really scary. It's tragic.
How you doing, Tiffany?
My legs are hurting.
Okay, they're on their way. They'll be here any minute, all right?
Please hurry.
Okay, they'll be here any minute.
Not being able to talk to your friends, even open your eyes, acknowledge any of them. You know they're right there within your, you can just reach out and touch one of them. Can't say anything to them, just have to let your body loose and just let the officers do whatever they want to do with you. It was very hard.
It was a little uncomfortable when I was actually out there on the concrete and the blood and everything. It was just, close your eyes and you try to feel as if this is truly happening, and just so you can get into the character, into the role, and you just kind of like daze out, like everyone around you isn't really there, and you're just quiet, you're not moving, and
My friends.
definitely brought up a lot of issues and a lot of things.
Equipped with the jaws of life, members of the fire department continue the demonstration by showing the intricate operation of extricating the trapped female victims, Jessica and Tiffany.
It's looking pretty bad.
When I was laying in that car, I was just like, this could happen. I'm the type of person that, I feel like nothing could happen to me. I know a lot of my friends are that way too. We feel invincible, like, nothing bad could happen to us, but being in that car made me really glad to be chosen, because I was thinking, this could happen to me.
This is the first time I've seen an accident where you have a car so demolished and seeing victims outside of the car. It's pretty shocking, it's pretty moving, and it's the fact that the injuries are so intense. I just never seen that before.
Being involved in this program helped me realize the consequences of drinking. Not only just drinking, but getting in that car. I have a brother who I watch go through this all the time, and he scares me every night. And now, knowing that I was in that accident and it was staged and everything, I know that I will take better precautions.
The crowd watches as the paramedics prepare the injured for transport to the hospital. This will be the last time they see these participants until the assembly the next day, when scenes from the hospital are shown during the video presentation. Now their focus shifts to a scene that many thought was the hardest to watch, the coroner's arrival.
What really got to me when the hearse drove up, then it just hit me. It was something that just told me that this is final. It's the end, the kids are gone. I was amazed. It was so real.
It felt like they were taking you away from everybody. Like they kind of wrapped you around the thing, and your legs were strapped in, and the white thing was on you and everything. Just like I had my eyes closed the whole time because I was covered and everything, and it just felt like you were fading away from like everyone like around you, like they were taking you away from everybody is what they really were doing.
She's busted up real bad. Her legs are all busted up, chest. Feel like her bones are cracking in her chest there. She's all blue.
I was in the ambulance. They were actually going through some of the procedures, and I was just like, you know, it's uncomfortable for me now. Can you imagine what it would be like if it would really happen?
As the crash victims arrived, doctors, nurses, and other technical staff at the Santa Monica UCLA Hospital emergency room spring into action. It was their job to treat the victims as real trauma patients and to use this drill not only to help in their training, but also to simulate for the participants as closely as possible the real emergency room action that is taken and to show how many people get involved and are affected.
It was very traumatizing getting out of that ambulance, being there, lying there, all these things, putting tubes up me and in me and everywhere. It was just traumatizing.
Valiant efforts such as the ones being portrayed here, both in the streets by police and fire, and the ones here in the ER, are very often in vain. Alcohol-related crashes are more serious and deadlier than other crashes. 75% of the people who died in crashes caused by a young drunk driver were young people themselves. For the hospital aspect of the program, close friends of the victims were transported to the emergency room to view the bodies. This had a great impact on all the girls, especially the victims.
And in the end, when they dipped my hand in cold water to let my friends really see the impact, you know, what would it be like if I were dead, they had to come see me, I even ended up crying, just lying there to myself.
I will stand with you till the end.
The parents of the participating victims were asked to receive a mock death notification performed by a law enforcement officer at their home or place of employment.
I'm afraid I have some really bad news for you. Your daughter Jessica was involved in a traffic accident. Her car was struck by a drunk driver. The fire department and the hospital did everything they could to try and save her. But unfortunately they couldn't. We're very sorry. I have 3 children of my own, and I can't imagine somebody telling me that my children are dead. And when she reacted the way she did, it brought out a lot of emotion to me, and I could feel her pain. I could feel her heart being ripped out, and I would never want anything like that to happen to me.
All I can do is hope that people understand what a parent feels and what a parent has to go through. If a child, for instance, decides they want to go out and stay out late without calling mom or dad to say that I'm coming home late, or just to let them know that they're okay.
I'm always telling her, don't this and don't that, and I've never really given her direction on what she needs to do, how she needs to be able to call home and feel free to call home and not worry that there'll be a punishment attached to that or a lecture.
Said you had 2 beers?
The DUI driver is escorted back to center stage, where an officer conducts a field sobriety test, or FST. Upon failing the test, the driver is immediately placed under arrest and transported to police headquarters.
Jail was terrible. It was one of the worst experiences. It's so boring. It's so uncomfortable.
At headquarters, he receives a breathalyzer test for blood alcohol levels. Upon the determination of higher than legal levels of alcohol in his blood, and considering that deaths resulted from his actions, the youth is booked for driving under the influence and for manslaughter.
Bail to $100,000.
He is allowed 1 phone call to his parents.
Here in jail, I got in a car accident, driving drunk.
Now he is returned to the Juvenile Holding Center, where he will remain.
They don't just close it, they slam it hard. You can hear it. You just look around and there's nowhere to go, no one to talk to. Just walls and a hard bench to sit on. It's terrible.